Hey everyone, and welcome. If you've ever dipped your toes into learning how to code, you've probably stumbled across a block of text that looks, well, like a secret message. You know the one. Today, we're going to crack that exact code. We're going to demystify your very first program in the Java programming language. And I promise, it's way simpler than it looks.
So first things first, what even is Java? Well, to put it simply, it's a super popular and really powerful language we use to give computers instructions. It was created way back in 1991 by Sun Microsystems, and since then it's been used to build pretty much everything, from the apps on your phone to massive systems that run big companies.
And this right here is the classic starting line for any new Java programmer, the famous Hello World program. I know, it looks like a bunch of cryptic gobbledygook, right? All those brackets and weird words. But trust me, by the time we're done here, every single piece of this is going to make perfect sense.
So that's the big question, isn't it? What does this secret language even mean? It might look complicated, but it's really just a set of very specific, very logical instructions. Kind of like a recipe for a cake. Today, we're going to be detectives and figure out exactly what each ingredient does.
All right, let's start decoding. We're going to take this whole thing apart, piece by piece, keyword by keyword, until there are no secrets left. Ready to pop the hood? Let's do it.
The very first thing we see is public class main. The easiest way to think of a class is like a container, a big box. It's where we're going to put all the different parts of our program. We've named our box main. And see those curly braces? Those are just the walls of the box, holding everything neatly inside.
Okay, now inside our box, we have the next line, the main method. Now this is probably the single most important part of getting our program to run. Think of it as the official starting line in a race. When you tell Java, hey, run my code, the very first thing it does is look for a method named exactly main. It's the front door to your whole program. No main, no entry.
But what about all those other words attached to it? Public, static, void? They sound kind of intimidating, but they're just setting some ground rules. Public just means this starting line is open to the public. It's accessible from anywhere. Static means Java can run it right away, no special setup needed. And void? That just means when this method is done, it doesn't need to report back with any value. It just does its job, and that's it. And that little string args array part in the parentheses? That's for some more advanced stuff, where you can give the program information before it even starts. For what we're doing today, it does absolutely nothing, so you can safely ignore it for now. Let's not get distracted.
So, we've set up our container, we've defined our starting point, and now we get to the fun part. The one line of code that actually does something, the action command.
The command here is system.out.println. Let's break that down. System is basically telling Java, hey, I need to use one of your built-in tools. The tool we want is out, which is just a fancy name for the standard output, your screen. And finally, println is the action. It literally means print a line. And what are we telling it to print? Whatever is inside those parentheses and quotes. Okay, deep breath. We've decoded every single piece of the puzzle. We've got our container, our starting point, and our action command. So now for the big reveal. Let's see what happens when the computer actually follows these instructions. It's a really simple, logical flow. First, as soon as you hit run, Java goes on a mission to find that special main method. Once it finds it, it steps inside and looks at the very first instruction, which is our command to print. And finally, it does exactly what it's told. It takes the text "Hello World" and displays it right there on your screen. And the result? After all that code, all those keywords, the braces, the parentheses, is this. Two simple words. Hello World. That is it. All that structure was just to get the computer to say hello. You've just seen the entire process, from a confusing block of code to a real, visible result. Pretty cool, huh?
So, let's zoom out for a second. What's the main takeaway from all this? Well, we've gone on a journey from a block of code that looked like a complete mystery to total clarity. And now you have the tools to understand this fundamental program.
So here's what you really need to remember. Code isn't magic. It's just a set of really specific instructions. Every one of those keywords has its own unique job. The main method is always the starting point, no exceptions. If you want to print text, system.out.println is your new best friend. And maybe most importantly, code that looks complex on the surface is often just made up of simple, logical pieces working together to create a powerful result. And that leaves us with one final exciting thought, a question for you.
You now understand how this code actually works. So, if this simple program can make the computer say "Hello World," what are you going to make your code say next? The possibilities are literally endless, and they're all yours to explore.